All right, moving over to the next page. Once again, parent graph is our square root, so we're starting out with 0, 1, 4, 9. And our square roots are 0, 1, 2, and then for 9 it's 3. We want to make our transformed graph. The original problem says x plus 2, so we're going to put in x minus 2. And then for the second part, 3y minus 3, because remember we're changing our radical to be the letter y. All right, so 0 minus 2, negative 2, 1 minus 2, negative 1, 4 minus 2 is 2, 9 minus 2, 7. Multiply our y by 3, that's 0 minus 3 is negative 3. 3 times 1, 3, minus 3 is 0. 2 times 3 is 6, minus 3 is 3. And finally, 3 times 3 is 9, minus 3 is 6. This is a square root graph, so it has a distinct beginning point, negative 2, negative 3. At x equals negative 1, we're at 0. When x is 2, we're up at 3. And when x is 7, we are up at 6. Whoops, 6 is right here. All right, so we're going to connect our dots. Keeps on going to the right. So remember, we're reading our graph from left to right. The first x that we come across is that negative 2, so our domain is going from negative 2 up to positive infinity. We read our range from bottom to top. We notice our beginning y value is that negative 3, so our range begins at negative 3 and goes to positive infinity. Transformations, since our coefficient is a 3, we have a vertical stretch with a factor of 3. Underneath the radical, we have a plus 2, so that's a horizontal translation to the left 2. Outside the radical, we have a minus 3, so that is a vertical translation down 3. All right, next problem. Cube root, remember our cube graph. Parent function, negative 8, negative 1, 0, 1, and 8. Filling in the cubes. All right, and so then on this problem, we have x plus 4, so our parent table changes. For our new graph, it's going to be x minus 4. Then we're going to do negative y plus 1. Opposite of y plus 1. All right, so taking our x's, we'll have negative 12, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3. 8 minus 4 is 4. Opposite of negative 2 is 2, plus 1, 3. Opposite of negative 1 is 1, plus 1, 2. 0 plus 1, 1. Negative 1 plus 1, 0. Negative 2 plus 1, negative 1. So these are the points that we're going to graph. 4, negative 1, negative 3, 0. Negative 4, 1. Negative 5, 2. And then negative 12 will be about here, and it's up at 3. Right here. All right, so we're going to connect them. Trying to get it to go through. Notice it's going forever and ever in both directions. Domain then, since this is a cube root graph, we're going from negative to positive infinity. Range, same thing, negative to positive infinity. Transformations, we have a reflection across the x-axis. Because of the negative outside the radical. The plus 4 underneath the radical is a horizontal translation to the left. 4. And then we have added 1 on the outside of the parent. So that is a vertical translation up 1. All right. Let's try and do the 2 at the bottom. All right, problem 4, domain. Remember, again, we are reading from left to right on our graph, so we're starting at -6, going to positive infinity. Range, we're going from bottom to top, so it's stopping at +4. So negative infinity up to +4. All right, x-intercept appears to be at 10, 0. Y-intercept is somewhere between 1 and 2. We get the y-intercept by substituting in 0 for x. We'll come back to that in a second. This graph is obviously always decreasing. Remember, the interval of decrease is your domain, so that's going from -6 to positive infinity. And behavior, as x approaches, you see your x is stopping at -6. Your y is going up to 4. On the right-hand side, as x goes to positive infinity, notice since our graph is decreasing, the y, or the f of x, is going to negative infinity. Now let's write that equation and see what we've got going on. So we know that we went left 6, and this is a square root graph. So when we go to the left 6, that's going to be x plus 6. We're up at 4, so we have a +4. Now, to see, since our graph is falling from left to right, we know we're going to need a negative for the reflection. And then we notice that when we go down 1 and right 1, so our slope, so to speak, is a -1. If you want to put the 1 there, you can. All right, so for the y-intercept, when we substitute in 0, we're going to have -1 times the square root of 6 plus 4 for our y-intercept. And if we pull up our graphing calculator, there it is. Let's see what we're going to get for that value. All right, I'm going to quit. And so I want a negative, then I want the square root of 6, and then I am adding 4. And you notice it's about 1.55. All right, so this is going to be about 1.55. All right, I'm going to stop here with my recording.